Alright, this week I'm going to move an entire garden and start a new one from scratch. I'll also be finding out what went wrong in the first place. And whilst doing this, I thought I'd talk about why is it that gardening has become more difficult than it needs to be.
It's strange. We've never had so much food on our shelves. Yet somehow growing food feels harder than ever. Supermarkets can import anything, anytime, but in our own gardens, things fail. Every season, it can feel like growing food just gets a little bit harder. So why is that? I've been facing that reality myself. A few years ago, I started a no-dig garden. The first year was great, but each season after that got worse. At first, I thought the problem was the heavy clay soil beneath the compost, so I tried broad forking, breaking it up to get some air in. But the garden kept producing less. I'd plant a potato and I'd get a harvest of one. I might as well have just eaten the seed. Eventually, I became like a manic detective. Was it the clay? Was it waterlogging? The pH? I dug test holes to figure it out. What I found surprised me. By adding heaps of compost and mulch and wood chip, I'd basically just created a free buffet for the nearby trees. Some trees send out chemicals to suppress the competition, but even without the science, I could see what was happening, and the trees were winning.
At that point, I had two options. Option 1, battle the trees, cut back the roots, raise the beds higher, maybe even build some kind of barrier. Option 2, move. In the end, I chose to move, to start again somewhere else. It means beginning from scratch with the soil, rebuilding the fertility and restoring life, but at least I won't be locked into a fight with the forest around me. You can see the problem I've been having. Just here you can see all these little feeder roots, and then these roots are the beasts. I've been defeated.
When I lived in the UK, I never thought to eat with the seasons. Food came from every corner of the globe at a really low cost. If you wanted French beans in the middle of winter, they came cheap from Kenya. Capsicum peppers were grown in glass houses in the Netherlands. Abundance was so normal it was invisible. One year I decided to grow onions. They grew slowly, month after month, and then had to be cured in the dry. After a season of work, I had a small bag. I was pretty pleased, until I walked past a corner shop selling an enormous sack of the things for £3. Months of tending the soil, beaten by £3. On the shelves, food looks effortless. In the soil, it's a fight. I'm clearing this patch of grass to plant a mandarin tree. Whenever I plant a tree, I like to open up a decent sized bed around it. That way I can build in more than just a tree. I can layer in companions like comfrey, calendula and lavender, plants that help feed the soil, attract pollinators, and just look after each other a bit. I'll add a few globe artichokes in here as well. I love the look of these. They're almost architectural and they taste great as well. Soil compaction's invisible until you see the signs. Heavy wheels, cattle hooves, all pressing the life out of the ground. Plants need air, fungi need air, and without it the soil suffocates, and so does the garden. But it isn't just nature that we're up against. There are rules layered on top of rules. In some places you can't collect much rainwater. In others, seed laws restrict what you can grow. Building codes and council regulations creep to the backyard. For most people, supermarkets and global supply chains do all of the work. That scale of efficiency makes homegrowing feel insignificant, even pointless.
Normally when it comes to gardening, I don't bother digging. I tend to just put cardboard down and then compost mulch over the top. It's a lot easier. But with this, I thought I would try digging. It's on a little bit of a slope, and in the past I've noticed the mulch tends to kind of just run down the hill whenever there's any rain. So I thought this time I'll actually dig it and flatten it off. Might be better.
Last summer it hardly rained. We were living off a single 5,000 litre tank. Without the neighbours helping us out, a lot of the garden would have died. This year we're better prepared. I've put in a much larger tank, and right now I'm fitting a leaf catcher. This way I can take rain off the roof without any of the debris.
I want to get this cut into the top of the water tank. Unfortunately, the way this is shaped, I can't just draw around it. So instead, I'm using my grandfather's compasses. Pretty cool. He was a draftsman, and a draftsman seems to me almost like being an architect of things. You know, these days you just have a computer program that would create whatever item you would want to make incredibly quickly, where he would have painstakingly drawn it by hand using these. I don't often get to use them, but yeah, it's nice to occasionally use them.
Despite all the frustration and having to move an entire garden, I still believe growing food at home produces something better. Stronger, healthier plants grown in compost and mulch don't need the chemical crutches of industrial agriculture. We grow food, and in a weird way, the food grows us back. Supermarkets make food look simple. Gardens remind us it's not. And perhaps that's the real paradox. In an age of plenty, the hardest work may also be the most meaningful.
If you want to take this conversation further, I made a video last week about the nutrition in supermarket food and why it's declining. Thank you so much for watching. As you've probably gathered, I'm not an expert here, so if you've got anything that you'd like to contribute to this, put it in the comments. It'd be great to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching. See you next week.